we're going back to Chalet. It is going to be a map that we haven't seen often throughout the regular stages.
No.
And now suddenly, during a site, I believe this is the third time we're going to see it.
Well, it's not even just that. The map that we just saw DZ play was obviously Chalet, and it was the first time we'd seen them play it. It's that sort of kind of covered and claustrophobic. They're bringing out the big maps and big plays. They did have, I believe it was between Oregon was the final ban, so they had a lot of possibilities. Ying is gone. A lot of teams ban Ying against Cyclops.
Yep.
I think there was only 2 games over their previous season where it wasn't banned against them.
It is, and it's not like when the Ying was available, it was being used every single round. So, you know, at some point you're like, do you still want to continue banning it? Or is it like, you know, it's fine for us. It makes it a little bit predictable.
Oh, yeah.
As the Thatcher also gets removed by Cyclops. They will be attacking first. There's, of course, plenty of ways to go around it. Different ways to take care of Electro Claws if you do not choose to ban out the Cade right now, or the Bennett Wires that could be placed. Oh, Jaeger ban.
Jaeger gone too. That is Cyclops really trying to cripple that initial hold there and make sure that they can be punished from all of the possibilities of putting pressure and pinches across the top. We saw, obviously, as we said, DarkZero, if you missed it, Falcon 2, that was the opener map they had, and it started off unfortunate, I think is the nicest way of putting it. They're able to start to build some stuff on their attacks, though, because they're a very good attacking team. It's stepping up their defenses. What have they learned? Are they heated up now? And do they have that NA passion and fire that is often so touted by the NA region on socials? Either way, we start in statistically the weakest site.
Yeah, the bottom floor not really one that works out well, and I think it is due to the fact that it is hard to extend your way outwards. You have the trench you can play with, but that's really about it. Like, playing inside of the big garage is you're not going to come out of there alive. Top floor, of course, the roam will work, but they can also just choose to hit the side directly. So you got to make sure that you have that right balance between the roam and the actual players in sight. And well, it's up to DarkZero to try and up that percentage a little bit right here, as we did, by the way, see the Monty coming out on Anaton, and that is something we did mention before. He is that Swiss Army knife.
Oh, yeah.
He goes on the roam on the defense, and if the Monty is available, well, guess what? He is going to be playing it, and he is going to be pushing you out of your position.
If you've done a bit of VOD review on Cyclops, it's 2 truths that you know for sure. 1, ban Ying, and 2, Anaton will play Monty, and he plays it so well, and he plays it as this sort of front pincer against the rest of the aggressors. It allows Gatorada and Ayagator to kind of get in and try and put some pressure down. Hyper is instantly looking out towards the spawn to see if he can catch anybody, but nobody took the helicopter in. It was Eclipse that took Gatorada out instantly. You lose that sledge, those frags off the board, slow creeping his way round just towards the big fireplace double door. Or did he just swing out the close box window? Either way, hey, Cyclops, welcome to SI.
Welcome indeed, as we have been talking about that one before. And that is going to be the first spawn peak to come in. And, you know, sometimes the way to deal with an aggressive and a fast team is just by bringing a bit of aggression yourself and making sure that they're going to have the issues trying to move in. But the Monty is still standing. Anaton will be trying to gain some space into Trench. There is no extension up here that will give it up to Ayagator, allowing him to open up these walls without being punished whatsoever.
Yeah, quick pinch pressure here onto Red now as they try and open either side of the elbow of the man who's caught rotating away from the back of the wine barrels. The canister's popped early, just on the opening to make sure they can't quickly swan in, as we know they like to do. Monty is holding his way onside Red door with cover coming over the opposite sides too. Sky's got the quick pickup from inside the bottom of short blue to make sure he can get the cross angle. Ayagator has been able to creep his way up, puts a man in a tight corner, and as soon as they get the read, they get the head too. 4 versus 4, and they've flooded their way onto site, dig themselves deep in, 1:30 left, and you can see DZ are trying to pull themselves back round, drop one more, and he goes even deeper. Ayagator to the bottom of the main stairs, swings round, holds off onto blue with Sky still holding on the opposite side. Anaton tries to stick a plant, but with Black Ray being dropped, it might make him pause for thought. No, he's going to stick it the whole way round, puts himself in a post plant, and now he's able to get picked up. No! Anaton dropped by Skies on the swing round. One more Skies. 2 versus 2. Swings back round onto the back of Red to make sure Connector is covered. They have an eyes and an idea and a man in a hot box. If you're going to stick the plant, well, I'm going to try and stick the defuse. DZ take the first round.
There we have just an insane retake coming down there from DarkZero. The control was fully for Cyclops. Yet we're not able to hold on to it. The blind fire through the smoke, able to find the head of the Monty. The one operator you would really like to have in a post-plant situation. If that wouldn't have gone that way, it would have been a Cyclops round. But nonetheless, DarkZero able to pick up that first one. The bottom floor one. Don't have to deal with that for another 2 rounds at least, as they now move up. In the meantime, actually, on the other stream, G2 just lost to Furia with 8-7. That was a close game. That was a close game.
I know. I feel bad. So if you don't know, there's a wall that separates us and the other team. We shouted it over it earlier comically. But if you accidentally hear voices on other streams, well, it's because the other game is super exciting. There's 2 streams, huge amounts of games all weekend. But we have just had a bit of a buffer of a first round there.
We definitely did indeed. It came out quick, and I was going to say, this is why Cyclops is known for their quick attacks. You saw it right there. They were in the site with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. They got the plan down and put themselves in the post-plant position. However, fortunately, DZ, they know how to shoot back, and they were able to get these kills, get the retake going, and make sure that they could stick that defuse before anybody of Cyclops was able to put themselves in a good position to try and challenge that. We do see the Monty coming out again, however, as DZ, of course, will be going to a different site. See a little bit of an extension right here in kitchen dining, making sure that maybe that vertical play from below is going to be slowed down a little bit, because you want to keep that shield up. That, of course, can be taken down from below with an Ash Charge or a Zofia or a Frag Grenade or whatever you can imagine. Making sure it's going to be able to be held from dining is going to be giving you a little bit of an extra buffer.
Well, the first round in, and we've pretty much seen everything that wraps up a game of Siege, and we're only, hey, the first round in. Let's see what steps up here on the second time round. Mint is the most noticeable, obviously picking up the Clash here to try and offer a bit of a buffer back against the shield, and the pace that was applied, it would be effective. As we said, CAG are very good at seeing an opportunity in an opening and taking it with all the pressure and perseverance of a team that, well, as we know, dictates the intel and information on you. Sprays through to the top of Solarium to see if they can catch someone via the bathroom and make sure they can pull somebody a little bit out of position, stacking themselves up on those windows, but still steadying their way through, at least so far. All of the players have been able to get into the building.
Yeah, indeed. There's a lack of presence actually coming down from DarkZero towards the southwestern side of the map, as most of them are actually located on that top floor or in dining near the actual site. So that is going to be given away freely to Cyclops, allows them to open up, as you just see happening right there. The summons already have been used, and it gives a little bit of a line of sight. Just standing there with that giant shield, it's going to be giving away some information to the rest of Cyclops right here, hoping to get some pings out, as he doesn't extend, hoping to go for a couple of shots, but Anaton also knows he cannot go too aggressive or he might lose the round because of it.
Well, look at this. All of the impacts heading over the top. The canister pops off the shield. It does a little bit of damage to NGR, but it breaks up the fight most importantly. Pushes them back and says, hold it, lads. Let's take this in a box in a different way. Skies, still on the tear from his previous round, opens up against the Ash, drops Black Grey. Anaton's able to get back up onto the door and then get deeper this time round, but he doesn't have the support he had last time. He cannot find the confidence. Skies, however, is a man swimming in it 1 round. The magical musical keys of Piano down onto the connector here, and it puts Cyclops in a really tricky situation.
It is a tricky situation indeed. 55 seconds as Susa C picks up the kill into NGR. There is another smoke canister tossed in, means that the last one is now in the pocket of Skies, able to potentially make sure that Anaton is not going to be able to walk through. But with 40 seconds left, he needs to be very careful on when to use it. Skies actually goes down right now. Vertical control from below might actually come in crucial right there as Anaton is about to move in. Takes a little bit of damage right there, but they are putting up some pressure right now on the likes of Cyclops. They might be pushing for a plant.
He's so concerned about that flicker of health. That gate has become entirely impassable, but with the double down inside, they're swinging around to see if they can get the eye on the man. That is down, covered by the smoke. They make sure the rotation on the bedroom is slipped, but they slip through. Wamai dropped one. They went for the diffuser, and they did it. It was a Hail Mary, and it paid off with only 10 seconds left. And one man on the opposite side, low health. He gets a double out of nowhere. 5 seconds. They have to have the confidence to try to lock it down. Eclipse just has to get this one. He gets it. He drops it. He doesn't find it. Suzu C. We talk of Hail Marys, and we see 2 in a round.
There we have it. Comes down very close yet again. This game is already keeping me on my toes right here. CYCLOPS able to somehow bring it back. The double kill coming in onto the actual, I believe it was a down player, could be, and the clash. Not quite sure what happened there, but it enabled them to go for that plant, play out the 2v1 situation, and as they had to go for that plant, he went off at the last final second as his teammate fell. The aggression came in from DarkZero, and it was punished by CYCLOPS. As now finally we do see the Monty being picked out. The buck is coming in from CYCLOPS as they want to have a little bit more vertical pressure to try and deal with these setups and these holds that DarkZero is bringing.
Kitchen dining. We keep the rotation of sites sort of moving as they try and find themselves continuing that momentum, obviously. We can't really paint the picture of these 2 rounds without highlighting Skies and the massive impact he's been able to have. As soon as he was down, it was almost like a Saving Private Skies moment. They tried to have the cover from the clash, but the way that they were interconnected with the hold from CYCLOPS meant they just couldn't get that stability. I'm curious, if we go back and watch it, if that swing on the double was just catching the clash out while she was potentially trying to get him up.
Yeah.
That is my thought there, because if Clash was still standing and holding that angle, that was maybe 2 zaps, and that gunner on Ace was gone. Little moment, but big impact, and it's only the 2nd round.
That's it, we're only into the 2nd round right now, and there's still plenty of more to be played as NJR just hiding the Electroclaw there in the reinforced wall, making sure it's going to be harder to destroy from below. As, of course, there might be some vertical plays coming through right there. Opening already on the fireplace still right there. Eclipse quickly challenging it, but nothing too much yet as he is on that roam, hoping to put up some damage. He needs to be careful, though. He is playing that Vigil, has the opportunity to be sure he's undronable, and he has Hyper with him, of course, on that Mozzie. So they're going to be trying to put this roam up to speed. They're going to be trying to deny as much information for CYCLOPS as they possibly can. But we also know CYCLOPS doesn't always seem to care. They just push in because they know where you are.
Gator is trying to find the man whose phone is desperately ringing, but Hyper has hot-tailed it out of there, preps a C4 on the bottom of the hatch, doesn't catch anybody, but catches himself a nice angle. Now, as soon as they try and find their way out of the room, they might meet their doom, and that offers a little bit more support on the man around the other hatch, holding on from the connection to see if anybody hops in the big window, but they're actually going to ignore it, run round, run off, and see if they can run on down towards the other bodies on the rest of the top floor. Anaton putting pressure on the double window on the bedroom. Another call goes. Gator's in a position to put some pop pressure onto box 2, and it does. Drops NGR as the opener.
First kill coming down here for CYCLOPS was Gadarada, almost finding himself near the actual site. He can just look into it. Here's a person down near Trophy. There's a little bit of a vertical angle from above he needs to be careful of. And you see that he is kind of checking it every now and then. As a swing comes in, Skies picks up that kill. Gadarada will drop, and it's back to a 4-4 situation with about 70 seconds left right now. Black Ray trying to return the favor, hoping to take this top floor control, but he's not really successful yet. Smoke canisters are being popped out to try and slow him down, and as the clock keeps ticking, CYCLOPS, they need to take the control as we speak. They need to make sure that the top floors is there to take, and in the meantime they still have to worry about, I believe that is going to be Eclipse that is fighting himself inside of bar. Could be going for a great flank at the last couple of seconds of this round.
Well, 40 seconds on, and the man is still playing around Fireplace. Doriana is the one that catches him, though, and puts some instant pressure, or wants to at least, towards the walls that have been opened. That could have been a monumental swing round, and that was the most important pickup of this round so far. Skies, though, still going deep, gets dropped, gets covered. A trade comes through, puts them in a close situation in a 2 versus 2. 20 seconds, and the vertical's in their favor. They dig deep. Hyper digs deeper and finds one more. The single body slips through underneath the hatch. DZ. I would say for the first time, that was a round with a little bit of control.
It was indeed, and you could see it from the play right here that we just witnessed through the hatch. already had the opportunity to open fire, of course, through the metal beams, but decided, you know, they're probably going to be moving into kitchen. We have the open hatch. That is going to be giving me a bit of a clearer shot. Don't really have to worry about messing it up. And, well, as a result, decided to go for a bit of trigger discipline there, taking it at the better opportunity for him. And DarkZero Dust now leading 2-1 over CYCLOPS, who, well, DarkZero finally at least putting up some defensive rounds right here. Reaper did say, seems to be an attacking side of map today. Maybe DarkZero is going to be trying to change that.
Obviously, I know it was highlighted by Guz and Xenox, there's been a little bit of a swing of favors. If you're on your first game, things haven't gone so great. But your second game is when you start to pick things up. CYCLOPS, though, they've hit the ground running, I think it's fair to say.
They definitely did, and let's see if they can continue that throughout these next couple of rounds as we are going to bar gaming. Not deciding to go back to the bottom floor, DarkZero that is. Maybe mean that it is a, of course, a tertiary site, just used as a throw-off for CYCLOPS, and now actually going to their primary bomb site. Or, well, secondary, tertiary, not quite sure. They've played all four at this point. Which one
I think
is
you're
which?
just throwing words out at this point.
I'm just throwing out, like,
just seeing what
words,
sticks.
seeing which one is going to be the one that is actually applying.
All right, DZ, they're looking good in the situations there previously. Obviously, it's still coming down to these moments of who is catching who. I said the most significant for me that round was Iana getting the drop on the body, trying to swing onto Fireplace, because that would have been around the back of a couple of people. So, they are still well aware of the game that's being played. We talked earlier on about how DZ love to play a heavy information control game, and we actually saw it in their first dance around Chalet earlier today. It was a lot of mutant Mozzie combinations, less so here. Seemingly they want to try and meet fire with fire. They're trying to keep the map hot, and it's doing them well so far. You could shoot around it.
Yeah, but it does take a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time and a huge amount of noise. It depends how...
There's someone near, and...
Yeah.
Oh, there we have it.
Oh,
it was actually good to leave it up there, because Eclipse now detonates it. At the moment, BlackRay jumps in, and that is going to be the entry frag. It's the Ash gone. BlackRay not having the best game yet. 0-0-4 so far. This grenade right here might be able to catch one of guard. Goes through and gets the kill onto Min. Beautifully tossed in by Suzuki. Instantly going on the Gemini, checking if the site is safe, and they will find out. All right, there's a player above, there's a player in library. We need to deal with him. Zanjara gets spotted out. A second grenade kill actually coming in from Suzuki. In the meantime, Alligator as well. It's a 2v4, and the plant's going down.
Yeah, that's one of those deaths that's really unfortunate, but Hyper, oh, he doesn't quite win it out. Alligator is the one able to drop it. NGR drops one background. He's dug in on the diffuser itself, but Anaton clears it off there. If I said round 3 was DZ's best control, seems like CYCLOPS stepped that mantle up yet again and raised that bar.
They definitely one-upped it there. The double grenade kill actually coming in from Suzuki. Great knowledge coming in from CYCLOPS, just using that journal to grab the first one. Then I'm not sure what the second one came through. Might have been tossed through bar, maybe Pentry even, if, well, that was the case. Of course, as soon as the replays will be coming out in public, we can check and see which one it will be out of those two.
Imagine the content.
Imagine the content that can be made. And talk about content, look at Akali.
Looking at Carly, looking her up on this board and seeing what she can do down here on the wine cellar and the snowmo. It obviously gives you the idea that they're going to go for a snowmobile take, potentially. At least the idea of opening that wall and making sure they can put some pressure on. It's lesser seen, but so is this site. It's so tricky to hold on to. If you didn't hear the quoted stats before inside NA, I believe it was a 21% win rate on this site itself.
Exactly.
Didn't fare much better in EU, in LATAM, or in APAC.
Hasn't been played much in any of the regions, really. A couple of times. I think I've seen it more now than we've actually seen it throughout the entirety of EUL. So
it's cool that we're seeing a lot of it.
It is cool. I believe we were also the ones that were casting almost literally every single Chalet match we've seen on our side.
We do get a lot of Chalet.
We do get a lot of Chalet, and we're continuing that here today to see how the Kali will fare up against the Electroclons that have been tossed in, but it looks like there is no deniability or denial coming throughout Snowmobile. Yeah, try and spawn peek that shield that just pops up on top of the rock. That is not going to be working. It is the mountain on a mountain.
Yeah, it's a tough one to try and take Eclipse, but you gave it your best, and unfortunately it wasn't quite enough this time round. This is the control of information game I talked about before, and they're trying to make sure they can manipulate it, put some pressure back into the boots of CYCLOPS. Okay, last time, they read that there was a lot of a hold upstairs and went, well, we're just going to push into red. We're going to make sure that we can dig in, try and get the diffuser down. It was almost successful if it wasn't for the success story of Skies, who stuck his way in here, though. NGR is being much more aware of the slow pressure that's coming here from the bottom side, making sure they're in a position to try and apply that pressure. Gatarada has gone deep, put the Claymore under the hatch to make sure they can't drop, and if they do, it's not going to be quiet as they funnel their way down the basement hallway to see if they can pop open trench.
And there you have it. It's not going to be the snowboat take here. We'll be pinging out these electroclaws, so they will be taken care of with the explosive lances, allowing, of course, these Selmas to be used on Aegator, who's popping them down as we speak. And this is going to be creating a very long angle. Last time we saw that there was an issue with them trying to get control. Now they can play the Kali all the way over. Mint's going quite low. Has to be careful to not lose his life early on right here, because that will be very detrimental for DC.
I got it the wrong way around. Maverick was the one who set himself up on Snowmo to get that opened, and Aegator opens up. Mint Skies is trying to hold on, but Monty's gone deep. Monty's gone for pressure, and Monty has gone for blood, but the rotation round the back stairs as they're able to catch one on the Claymore. It's suddenly a 2 versus, well, 1 versus 3. Gatarada held deep, stacked him up, knocked him down. And Cyclops find their third.
There we have it, a third round coming in, and exactly as I said, they had the issue with having the long angle down onto the diffuser, so they brought the Kali, they made sure they opened up the right angle, play her all the way back into the big garage, making it a very long firefight. You only need one shot to down whatever defender is coming up against you right there, and it was portrayed perfectly. As right now, Cyclops in the lead again. You see the Monty being brought out as we are going to kitchen dining. No, it's actually the Blitz being shown. Is Anaton going to go for a bit of a, well, as Des would say, Nina? Or Nia? Which one was it? I don't even know.
Nino, wasn't it?
Nino, all right.
Nino.
Of course, we would say choo-choo.
Choo-choo.
As normal people.
Yeah, Des said that was the sound of a train. If you're missing... See, obviously,
it's
we're from the EMEA team, if you were unaware. And these are the references that get thrown around a lot, that Des does not know what a train sounds like. Feel free to tweet it at him. He believes it goes Nino.
Yeah. It's not the train sound, don't worry, we know. He has been bullied with it.
Yes. Well, okay.
Please continue.
We won't say bullied, we'll say lovingly teased.
Yes, exactly.
Lovingly teased.
Unfortunately, the Blitz is gone, though. they 6-picked it back to Monty, so the whole analogy is kind of just to tell a little bit of a story time.
Okay, now obviously we're kind of highlighting a lot here about this map. Technically, it is an attacker-favored map at the minute. One of the first in a long time to be introduced to the meta where it has slipped into a favor of attackers having more success. So, DarkZero fans, don't worry too much. 3-2 is still a pretty good score so far, and with what we've been able to see them do, they have this potential of being able to pull back a few more, or at least one more before the turn of the half, as we're on that final one here. Eclipse is keeping himself busy, stocked up inside the bar and enjoying the company of, well, currently, unfortunately, nobody else. There's a bit of a pressure coming in from Fireplace that Hyper's reacting to as they set themselves up for the hatch above 2. It's just being cautious and aware of where Cyclops wish to enter.
But we're pre-placed again, just hoping that if they do move through Library, they're going to be able to pick up a kill again. Susa C playing from below has an opportunity to potentially spot out that C4. If he manages to take care of the player that is playing near the pantry door. Does receive a bit of pressure. Of course, has one call left. Already used one early on, and it is the Monty that dies first. Mint takes down Anaton. That is going to be a very important one. Susa C will stay alive, just barely though.
Oh, Eclipse went dangerous, but just clipped the side of the man, and he's able to at least keep it to 3/4 of a moon, as they say in astrology, and they are still present and shining a light towards this attacker just round the back. One has found their way in via box. Black Ray seemingly unaware of where the Eclipse is currently and gets completely taken aback, and that is the full moon.
They have it, second kill coming through indeed. Black Ray will be dropping, only leaving the 3 members of Cyclops left and are still on the hunt, trying to take down Eclipse. Are they going to be successful? They barely have any roam clear utility left. No more calls to play with. They do have, of course, the Selmas available to him as Aegator now does take down Hyper. It's a support that was coming to try and help out Eclipse, bringing it back to a 4-on-3 situation. But maybe Cyclops is going to be making the call. You know what? Let's just try and hit the site. There is going to be that one roamer so be it. We're gonna deal with that later on. We do need to get this blend down at some point.
Yeah, and with that minute mark passing over, they've got to try and set themselves up. Here comes some pressure over the top as Gatorada just applies it and then pulls back, makes them second guess how comfortable they might be and alleviate some of the potential stress before Eclipse has otherwise found himself yet again in a close corner, yet again waiting and coiled, ready to strike, and yet again striking on another man. The diffuser goes down very far away from anybody else that can really get their hands on it now. So, Ayagata, you've gone 11-2, but you're going to have to go even bigger to try and win this round back. Suzuki has the cover on the first, NJR has the response, and it's only down to Dockerby.
Have a vertical angle there from NGR just to close it up, and again a round that was relatively in control for DarkZero here. We're able to pick up 2 early kills, making sure that a lot of the potential that Cyclops brings in their aggression was already taken care of, especially that Monty gone the Ash as well. It's going to be limiting them in their options, and they tried to fight back, but unfortunately for Cyclops wasn't able to make it, and there's a 3-3 split is where we're at currently. DarkZero now going over to the attack themselves to see the line being brought out. A Zero, a Yana. We're trying to go very heavy onto the information play right here, whilst also having the Termite, which gets swapped out to a Hibana and a Zofia. So they do still have the core setup of what's necessary to open up what needs to be opened up. But they're also going very information heavy.
Before we got into this and into the actual casting of this game, our experts, Guz and Xenox on the desk, asked, are we going to see a successful bar in gaming? And I think it has potentially the best stats in terms of a region that plays it inside Apex. So if anybody might be able to pull it out here, it'll be down to Cyclops, who have opted for it as their first play.
Choosing to go here indeed, and do see the Frost coming out, which is an operator that is indeed one that works well. Have the shield to put up at the top of the library stairs right there, as you just saw portrayed. Now having the option to put down some of these Frost mats to try and catch them off guard. And there's another shield to be used, actually. Okay, so 2 shields in play. Instead of the Frost mat. Frost mat will be going under the double window. Still 1 left, so I'm curious to see where that one goes. But they're not at the default windows, like, for example, the jump in as the Prisma is there. So other options can be chosen.
Big extension, big play towards, hey, well, you want to take the fight here? Well, we've got a Frostmat there, or we've got a Banshee there, or we've got an Alibi there. Either way, we have a story. And the story is, we know where you are, and we're going to try and shoot you in the face. Quick pressure here across the Southwest Library balcony as they try and dig themselves in towards the first block of confrontation. They have the idea that somebody is inside, but they're expecting probably a lot more pressure from underneath as well. Obviously, it's the site itself, but to be fair, you look at the red bodies, there's 1 inside bar, 1 inside, and then otherwise, they've just kind of set themselves up around the rest of the top.
And they definitely have, and they're trying to take control of Library right here. A grenade will be tossed in, might be landing right into the Wamai. No, gets a bit short, not doing too much damage. Anaton, second one coming in, will dodge that one just in as well, but shots are undodgeable. NGR able to pick up that first kill. Is going to be opening it up right here, allowing DZ to potentially put a bit more pressure towards the library. But as I say that, a new member sticks up. One is prone right next besides them, and as Suzuki takes a lot of damage, they might have to rotate back down.
Ayagata still having a heck of a game as he's able to find 1 more. Gatorada has the cover, but they have him covered too. Ayagata tries to find a response, but NGR has that on a lockdown skies with 1 more and an E1D in the skies. Suzuki can only dance behind the bar and hope he finds a little bit more success, but the drone gives away that he was trying to get everything restocked, including his health. Unfortunately, none is to be found here. Just a lot of bottles of miscellaneous, non-branded sources, probably.
Probably indeed, for the pantry, just to make sure you can go for that little dish you try to cook up. And, well, talking about that, they're about to jump in. I believe there's still Frostmat located. I'm not quite sure where Skies is located. Mint will take the kill down, gets the Frostmat as well, just making sure his life doesn't get taken away straight away. As Black Ray now trying to make something happen, but he won't. As DarkZero able to pick up yet another round. The retaking the lead right here is going to be 4-3.
Well, DarkZero, if you are learning a region, as obviously a lot of us were coming into this, they are a team that attacks so good. Everything is balanced, counted, and made sure that the maths adds up to success. It was all done, or often done, under the cover of the E1D popping in the sky. We had NGR in the positions to catch anything or anyone that fled from the scene. It was very, very well sewn together. Cyclops, all of the pressure right now is on you trying to learn how to fight against this, because there is not many teams that have that ability to wrap around you like a five-clawed hand and just kinda squeeze to see what comes out.
Definitely going to have to work on that one as the line gets substituted out and the Blitz will come in. Not sure if I'm really a big fan of it. The line did seem to do wonders for DarkZero during the previous round. They were able to catch them off as they were sitting still in their respective corners. Offering the Blitz will be maybe giving them a little bit more pace to try and clear out with. It's an option we saw being hovered over by Anaton a little bit when he was playing on the attack himself, but opted to not go for it. Now Mint is going to be the one that is going to be pulling it out. Interesting mirror window placement. It's not designed to last, as a quick shot from the window will be taking care of it. But of course, it's going to be giving them a little bit of extra pressure inside of the office.
I'm curious to see if the extension of Cyclops is as wide and vast as it was previously played. Obviously, they sort of handed over some big chunks of territory and tried to hold it with 1 foot further away. And well, obviously it didn't go so great. Now, Lion is gone. Instead, they've opted for the Blitz, an operator that they've played pretty consistently over the earlier game today, at least so. It has this sharp aggression, this pace. It wasn't as successful before, but now they're warmed up and warmed in, and 1 step ahead. They have a huge amount of momentum behind them.
Of course, Mint is somewhat known for his Blitz, so I'm excited to see what it's going to be able to bring right here against Cyclops. It's always fun to see a quick shield. It's not fun to play against. It's fun to see.
Yeah, when I'm not on the other end of it, it's great to see a great shield player. Suzuki here is going to try and get in close, hope that he can bait for the audio to catch somebody with a C4, but they haven't taken the trap just yet. There goes Mint. He goes even deeper, floods his way to the back and up the solarium stairs to offer some cover to make sure that they have a cleaner swing in here on the top. NGR is going to rotate round, potentially go underneath, dig their way in across 3 stories and flat push here to just cause some problems and aggression across the entire facet of this hole. The first swing comes through. It's Malusi. Oh no, it's Blitz. Get out of there. Tries to find some sweet music inside piano, but consistently pushed further and further back. Could not, in any sense, hold on to that bathroom that was very quickly flooded.
Very quickly taken over indeed by Mint, who's now hiding inside the bathtub. Of course, gives him a little bit of freedom. You know, his legs are a bit safer of the C4s potentially being tossed in from below. As there it is, the breach coming in, trying to take control of that top floor. The mirror window surely will be taken out shortly as well. That was set up there to actually put some pressure on as Anaton takes the first kill this round around. There's going to be Eclipse that falls. It is the Zero gone, and that is a bit of information that you no longer have access to. Skies is looking to make something happen. Just holding on the rotate here, hoping one goes aggressive. As NGR and Mint taking some firefights themselves.
Oh, Black Ray tears the head off of NGR with a quick swing round the corner, but he's exceptionally low health. So his next fight, well, it doesn't last very long. And there's one more. Hyper with a double, goes for the trip, can't quite find it. Anaton carves his way back round into sight itself, but now we find ourselves in a post-plant situation. One of the 2 standing, well, it's Blitz, Gatorada. They had the first confrontation, they were buffeted back, and now they've crept their way closer and closer, but you only have 40 seconds, a C4 and a good gun. What can you make of it? The first C4 gets thrown and blown. Nobody is quite caught, though, as Skies goes a little bit wider. There's the drop round the corner, gets him blind, but Mint opens the round and then says, oh, that's where you got to from the bathroom. Yeah, I'm taking that kill now.
I managed to pick up that kill, shot him in the back right here, and there you have it. Another round coming in from DarkZero, as they are not sowing some fear into Cyclops right now. They also feel that this match might be slipping away a little bit from them, because right now we're at this point, where if DarkZero are able to win one more round, it is going to be a match point situation for them, and that is not something Cyclops want to deal with really at this moment in time. But 5-3 is that score. It looks like the line might be coming back as we're quickly hovering over the player rooms right here from A-Gator. No, not just A-Gator.
Not just
the entirety of Cyclops.
The whole team is there. And they're obviously taking this time to have a timeout. 1 round before they find themselves only 1 round away from losing this matchup. An important one to take for multiple reasons. Obviously, you want to try and win every single game, but you've got to look at how this group has been boiling down. It's been a loss and then a win for a lot of these teams coming in. They are, I believe, the first team that is going to be facing 2 teams that have already played 1 game today. They're looking at, obviously, this DarkZero who's just come off of a loss. They're looking at Cloud9, I believe, is the next matchup, one that they know is very familiar. So they have to try and put some fear back into the heart of the rest of this group. Also adding to that, they're looking at one of the teams that is currently on no wins. If they can try and make that 2 losses, if they can try and have someone beneath them at an eventual point, well, it's 6 long days of play days, but it gives you a little bit more safety.
It is the whole point of the group stages, right? To make sure one of these teams is going to be ending up at least below you, because you need to be not last if you want to.
That's a way of putting it. Yes,
that's the way to put it. It's the Blitz game coming out. A bit of a quick tactical timeout. The line gets taken out again, and we are going for that Blitz mint yet again. Let's see what he is going to be able to do on it. It's so oppressive as well. Just to see the Blitz coming around the corner and then he takes control, and it's like, well, if I let him get too close, I'm going to get flushed and I will be dead. And if I try to take the gunfight, someone else is going to be swinging around the corner just to collect me as I try and do it. So what you often do see is people just falling back as, well, more and more ground is being taken by that shield.
Well, we find ourselves back in bar, still no successful defensive holds so far. Can this be the first on, I believe, all of the A stream today? I don't know about the B. I'd have to go back and double check the games that have been played there, but either way, it's been a bit of a wobbly point, I think is the fairest way of putting it, and I'm curious to see what changes and adaptations come from CYCLOPS defense. After that team talk, they've got to build some momentum, they've got to take this, and it seems like they're setting themselves up for the same stack as before.
As we get into a very important round here for CYCLOPS, they need to be shutting down whatever DarkZero is going to be trying to put at them, and well, there is going to be that Blitz, and you see a bit of a response on the likes of CYCLOPS. There is that Legion to be in play, whereas the Goo Mines could be coming in right here to try and slow him down, at least force him to quickly pull out that needle if he steps through. As CYCLOPS just holding on, trying to put up some pressure on some of these windows. They are not really under any pressure themselves at this very moment.
Blackray, though, he's getting a bit bold. Gatorada is the first to suffer on the top floor. We can see they're setting up pressure from a lot of different windows, but they didn't go with the same take as before. And that has very quickly thrown the entire hold of CAG into the air. Blackray, though, drops NJR. Is able to take a very important pick. Anything pulled out of this is going to be a very big boon right now, because all of that hold that they did on the top, that mirror window is going to be, for now, functionally useless. It's all down to the corner, the lock of this big L-shaped nightmare. Look at this. Pulse deep underneath, giving the read. They potentially want to lob a C4 up through the hatch, but nobody's getting close just yet.
There's a player that is playing quite near, as right there the shotgun coming through, as a bit of pressure was being put up by DarkZero. But rotating back out of the big garage, has to be trying to find himself a way back to the rest of his team as they decide to go for a top floor take. It's a pretty late call, 60 seconds left. Mint just found the first of the Goo Mines that have been deployed, and might be many more located around this situation right here, around the location. That could be really spelling disaster right here, because they do need to move quickly. Only 50 seconds left, and only just now decided to go for this take.
Yeah, and they still can't quite get those loose bodies. Gator is still deep underneath. There's still 3 C4s in pockets too, and a lot of soft, dangerous dances that have to be made by the DarkZero players if they want to clean their way across. Talking of, here comes Blitz. There he is. There's a drone, and there's a locked hatch. Gatorada, he's dug in a corner, but not for very long, as Hyper takes care of that body above. 20 seconds, and they start their approach here. They have the C4 prepped. They give themselves an angle, but nothing more. C4 other than, oh no, Irrigator's being shot as the Pulse pulls himself back towards Snowmobile. Now, the Blitz is creeping his way down the blue stairs, offers some smokes as they creep and try and clear that one body. Doesn't quite get fully flashed. He's able to pepper some bullets in, but the diffuser is going down, and so is that man, DarkZero. Out of 20 seconds, find everything they need in that bar.
How did they still manage to win that one? It looked like a Cyclops round for so long, up until basically the Pulse got some unnecessary damage that could have tossed away the round, but nonetheless able to get these wins in right here. DarkZero absolutely in charge of this game and could be making it a quick one right here. Currently 6-3. One more round to go here for DarkZero. They will be putting themselves up with 1 point, and that means as well that they have some teams below them. And that is, of course, what they would like to have. You need to make sure you're not coming in last, preferably top 4 to gain yourself an extra life for the playoffs. And that is what they will be aiming to go for.
One thing about that round that I think sort of surmised how things weren't quite going in their favor was there was never a moment of confrontation directly between the Pulse and what they were trying to do with him and DarkZero themselves. DarkZero were always just a step away. They were cautious, and you could see that after that opening kill, Cyclops weren't throwing themselves to the wind. They weren't trying to get it more aggressive with the C4s. They ended the round with 2 of them still in pocket. And when you've built a strategy on a hold of Pulse with C4s, you have to lean into it a little bit more.
You have to at least use the C4s, indeed. Otherwise, it's not really working out.
They wanted to pop them at the right time, which I understand, but 40 seconds on the clock, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, there's always an argument to be made of dying with utility still in the pocket. It's better to just use it, trying to stay alive in that situation, and trying to save it up for a moment that might never come. But nonetheless, it is going to be a DarkZero round, and it is going to be a different setup here for Cyclops, as they have chosen to go to a different side. We're back at the bottom floor, and we're going to have to wait and see to find out how successful that one will be, because it is still a very difficult side to hold. DarkZero, they of course do know how to attack this one, and it's just a matter of time right now. Are they going to be able to quickly end this round, or are they going to be maybe struggling a bit?
This looks like they might be setting up for a lot of pace here as they open the door. Gone 6, goodbye. Hyper's inside sight, drops 1. Look at the backside there. They're already in, down underneath the hatch. They've completely taken it over. Kag, where are you? Caught sleeping and napping all over the rest of the map. Gatarada is trying to dig his way back inside the site, but nobody else is there to try and offer any support here. They have entirely flooded this bar like people that haven't had a good drink in a very long time. The winery is all theirs, but Anaton from above gets the man with the diffuser. Can't quite get the second one there as it swings around and keeps a bit of cover over the fireplace door. 2 minutes though, so all they have to do is pick up sticks and try and find a new place to plant and put that diffuser down. Pepper bullets around the corner, but unfortunately the spice is not quite so nice post-plant situation, as we find ourselves with a bit of a repeat of the storm of this site from the very opener. Gatarada battles back, puts a 3 versus 3, tries to make it a repeat of how it ended with the defenders trying to keep back ground. NJR, though, has the lockdown on Anaton, leaves it just down to Gatarada and Blackgray to try and pull their way back. But one of the people in that selection is a Blitz. Another one is NJR, who's going for his third here. Finds it. DarkZero find their first win.
Able to take it down. Or gone 6 in their hands. I'm like, what is this going to be? Is there a piece of utility they want to clear? But no, it was going to be for that push, and instead of using a Sophia Impact, which we often